Hey guys, I'm Lauren Trishelle and welcome to my channel. Today I have a very fun video planned for you guys. So I recently was gifted the Twilight Saga eyeshadow palettes by ColourPop from my amazing boyfriend, which I am super excited about. So I got Twilight, I got New Moon, and I got Eclipse, all from ColourPop. They don't have a Breaking Dawn palette out yet, so I'm hoping that they release a Breaking Dawn palette soon because I will totally pick that one up next. So today we are doing a 3 palettes, 3 looks video, and I am just going to give you my first impressions on these 3 palettes. Let's go ahead and get into it. First is Twilight. I am a huge Twilight fan. I have been a huge Twilight fan since I was like in 4th grade, I want to say. I've been a huge Twilight fan for a long time. Like I've read all of the books, I've seen all of the movies about 1,000,000 times. I'm even wearing my Twilight t-shirt, and I am so excited that there is now a Twilight makeup collab with ColourPop. Now, normally I would have had like all of my other makeup on already, but I kind of wanted to do something disgusting, and y'all don't judge me, but I found this super old and disgusting Morphe foundation. It's gross. I'm just gonna come right out and say it, like this foundation is really old. Also, this foundation is super pale. It's actually too pale for me, and I bought it that way on purpose because I bought it for a Halloween costume when I dressed up as a vampire. I found this foundation and I was like, you know what? Let me just use my like vampire foundation while discussing the Twilight eyeshadow palettes. I think that just makes sense. And I'm not gonna be leaving the house today. Like I'm just doing a full face for this video, and then I'm gonna be washing it off. So why waste my nice foundation when I could just use this stuff? You know what I'm saying? Y'all get me? Y'all get me. Okay, let's get into it. I cleansed my face, and then I moisturized, and then I did put a primer on. So I've already done those 3 steps. Ooh, I'm kind of nervous. Ooh, it is really thick. We're just gonna go for it. Whatever, let's do it. Oh wow. Oh my gosh, it's so pale. It's so much paler than I remember. I feel like I look like a sheet of paper. It's so itchy. Oh my gosh. Did you see that? A whole like chunk of makeup just came off. Ew. I did a setting powder off screen. I also did a bronzer off screen, and I did a concealer off screen. So I've got all of those steps knocked out of the way. Okay, this palette is absolutely gorgeous. I am so impressed. The color story, gorgeous. They really captured that grayscale, like the blue filter of the Twilight movie. It's so beautiful. I love the mix of grays, greens, blues. It feels like I'm actually in the Twilight movie. Like it feels like I'm in the forest with Edward and Bella. It also swatched beautifully. I was most impressed with the glitter shades. They swatched like a dream. They were so creamy, so pigmented. The matte shades didn't swatch as well, but that's okay. Sometimes it's nice to have a matte shade that's a little more transparent. Also, the packaging is amazing. ColourPop put so much time and thought into the packaging, and it shows. I'm very impressed with it. I love the sleeve. It comes in this gorgeous sleeve, and then the palette itself is so like shimmery and iridescent. It looks like Edward's skin. I'm obsessed. And then when you open it, you get this beautiful image of Edward and Bella laying in the field, and then it even has a quote that says, "So the lion fell in love with the lamb," which is one of the most beautiful lines from Twilight, in my opinion. And then they also named each shade so appropriately. I love the names that they picked for these shades. They put so much thought and detail into this palette. Like the shades are Edward, and that shade literally looks like Edward's skin. Then there's Unconditionally, Prom Night, Immortal, Ice Cold, say it out loud. One of my favorite scenes of the Twilight movie. I love that scene. The Cullens, Lion and Lamb, which is a beautiful emerald green shade. It's swatched so beautifully. 17. It's a really nice sage green color. It reminds me of Bella's room. I love this 17 shade. Moonlit, Impossibly Fast. Bella, which they used like a boring brown shade for Bella, which I think is hilarious because she's kind of boring. I actually love Bella. Growing up, I always like hated Bella. I thought she was so boring. But now as an adult, and especially after reading the books, I love Bella. I love Bella. I think she's so cool and fun and interesting. If I was Edward, I would be in love with her too. Then we have the shades Irresistible, Irrevocably, and Forever Young. These are awesome names. I love them, okay? So let's just play with makeup. That's like my favorite thing to do. Let's play with makeup. So I am going to go in with the shade Unconditionally, which is this beautiful pale blue color. I'm really liking this shade. And I'm just gonna put it on the outer, like kind of like the brow bone, because I want it to be a blending out shade, okay? Oh, that's so pretty. That is so pretty. Wow. It's applying amazingly. It's quite pigmented, actually. It's more pigmented than how it looked in the swatch. And it's also very powdery. So I'm getting a lot of upkick in the pan, but that's okay. I have noticed I'm an eyeshadow girly, so I've tried lots and lots of different eyeshadows. I've tried a lot of different brands, companies, formulations, whatever. I've tried a lot. And I have noticed that the shades with more upkick in the pan tend to be of higher quality. Wow, this applied beautifully. Wow, I'm so excited to try more of these shades. Okay, next, I think I'm gonna try out the shade 17 next because I'm really interested in it. So I'm just going in with a fluffy brush like I did with Unconditionally, and I'm going to apply 17 on the lid. Ooh, oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, this shade actually applied much different than how I thought it would. In the pan, it looks like a more sage green color, but on application, it's kind of like an aqua color. It's possible that it could be mixing with the shade Unconditionally, which could be giving it more of a blue hue. I think it actually is just more of an aqua shade, but I'm okay with that because it's still a really, really pretty color. When you're using a shimmer shade, you need to get like a flat packing brush, and you should wet your brush before application. They attach better to moisture, so that's why you would wet your brush before application. Now, sometimes some shimmer shades just don't work on a brush whatsoever. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how you try to switch up your application. It just won't work with a brush. So in those cases, I recommend actually just going in with your fingertip and applying the shade directly from your finger to your lid. I always attempt using a makeup brush first because you can get the application on the lid more precise, clean, even, blended, all of the things. But if it is just a stubborn glitter shade and it just doesn't want to apply with a brush, then you go in with your fingertip, okay? So let's wet this brush. I'm gonna use the Cullens, and I'm going to put that on my outer corner. Ooh, ooh, oh my gosh, this is so pretty. This shade is so pretty. I have a dress that would match with this shade like so perfectly. Okay, this shade is really beautiful. It's not as creamy as I thought, but I think if you go in with a finger, I think it will apply creamier. I'm just gonna try it. Like if you just pack it on, yeah. If you just pack it on, you'll get better results. That's a tip, okay? So remember that. Okay, now I really want to play with this shade Lion and Lamb. I think I'm going to wet the other side of this flat packing brush, and then I'm just gonna try and kind of layer it on the Cullens. Just kind of like pop it on there. This is so pretty. It's layering so well. I messed up here. That layered so much better than I thought it would. I have a lot of fallout right here, but don't worry, we're gonna take care of the fallout in a little bit, okay? If you get fallout, don't freak out. Fallout can be fixed, and I'll show you how in a second. A way to kind of prevent getting fallout, it takes longer, but instead of using large like swooping movements, you're actually just gonna use very small packing movements. That's how you'll lessen fallout. And you're just gonna wanna keep blending, just keep blending. When in doubt, blend it out, because we wanna get rid of those harsh lines and we want everything to look smooth and seamless. Wow, this is so pretty. I'm gonna try and get rid of some of this fallout, so I'm just taking a clean brush and I'm just gonna swipe really fast. Just be quick about it. I'm gonna swipe off some of this fallout. Yeah, that already took off a lot of it. Now, that didn't get rid of all of the fallout because, you know, I put my foundation on before I put my eyeshadow on. So some of the fallout has already like sunk into that makeup and it's like stuck there. So I will take care of that in a little bit by adding a layer of concealer. You definitely want to swipe off that excess before you do the concealer. Okay, now I want to up the intensity of the outer corner. So I'm going to take this shade Forever Young. I'm going to take it on a very small pointed brush and I'm just going to like slightly dab that into the outer corner. Okay, so I am getting quite a bit of fallout from the shade. That's okay, that tends to happen with black eyeshadow. So we're just gonna swoop that off real quick. However, I'm also having a little bit of a problem with this shade. So if you can see, let me zoom in. Hi. If you can see right here, some of my shimmer shadow is coming off. It's actually picking up and it is leaving. Like it's off of my face. So that happens sometimes when you try to apply a matte shade on top of a shimmer shade. So because that's happening, I'm just gonna lightly dab Forever Young, just lightly dab it in the very outer corner. But I'm not gonna do much blending because if I try to blend, it's just gonna pick up the brush I'm using. It's just gonna pick up all of my shimmer shadow and take it right off of the eyelid. And instead, I'm just gonna pick up some more of that shimmer shade and pop it back on. Okay, perfect. So I just finished up with some more blending. I am going to pop on some more of that pigment since a lot of it got blended out. I'm just gonna take some of the Cullens on my finger and I'm just gonna pop it on right here just to bring back some of that pigmentation. And we're just putting it on the eyelid. We're gonna let the rest stay blended. And I'm gonna do the same thing with Lion and Lamb. I'm just gonna go back in with some more of that pigment, okay? Beautiful, beautiful. I really want to play with one of these silvery shadows. There's a lot of silver in this palette and I want to play with all of them, but I can't. So I think I'm gonna use the shade Edward because that one has my attention the most. I am just gonna pop it on my inner corner. So I'm just gonna take some of this on my finger. No use in getting a brush out for this one because you don't need it. I'm just taking that pigment on my fingertip and I'm gonna pop it in my inner corner. You're just gonna pack it in there. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. I'm also going to apply some of it on my brow bone just because I feel like being super glittery today. So we're gonna be glittery. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. I'm gonna blend some of it. I still want to mess with one of these other silver shades. So I think I'm gonna take the shade Immortal. I'm gonna get some on my fingertip and I'm just gonna go over it on my eyelid. Just right here, just like dab it in right on my eyelid. I'm just gonna layer it over those other shimmer shades just a little bit to give me some sparkle. These shimmer shades are so creamy. I'm honestly very impressed with this formula. So cute. Okay, so now that's it for the eyeshadow. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to apply the rest of my face off camera just to save time. And then I'll come back on and see what y'all think of the eye look, okay? So be back in a second. Okay, I'm back. I finished the look. I'm really impressed with ColourPop's Twilight palette, actually. Of course, I didn't have time to try all 15 of the shades, so I will be playing with it more in the future, obviously. But the shades that I did have time to try today, I am very, very impressed with their formulation. This gets thumbs up from me. I'm loving it. I'm loving this look. I'm really excited to continue using this eyeshadow palette, and it's even better that it's Twilight themed because I think Twilight is actually my favorite movie. And it's hard for me to pick a favorite movie because I love movies. I think it looks really, really nice. And actually, the savior of the day was this NYX Buttermelt highlighter. I just picked this up from Ulta last week or maybe the week before, I want to say, and I hadn't tried it yet. It was on clearance, so I didn't know what to expect with it being a clearance item, but it was amazing. This formula, do you see that shine? This is great. Yeah, it smells like sugary butter. It is called the Buttermelt highlighter, so I shouldn't have been surprised when I applied it and smelled butter, but I was. It glided on so effortlessly, and it's like beautiful. It's so lightweight, but so intense. I feel like I'm shimmering everywhere. I think the next time I go to Ulta, I'm probably gonna pick up more of these Buttermelt highlighters because I'm really, really loving it. But let me know what you think about today's look in the comments down below. If you have the Twilight palette, let me know. If you've used it, let me know. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Twilight palette by ColourPop. All of the products that I used on my face will be down in the description box below. And stay tuned because next is the New Moon palette, which I'm really excited for. Let's do it. Okay, so now we are going to be getting into the ColourPop New Moon eyeshadow palette, which I'm super excited for. The Twilight palette was absolutely 2 thumbs up. I loved the Twilight palette, so I'm really excited to dive into the New Moon palette now. The color story of this palette is absolutely gorgeous. I think this would be a really great fall palette. It has everything you need for fall, really. There are a lot of neutral shades, there's beautiful oranges, beautiful reds, beautiful yellows, golds. It looks like fall leaves. It's swatched beautifully. Bloodsuckers, Face Punch, and Soulless Monster all swatched so beautifully. So this one comes in this nice little sleeve, just like how the Twilight palette came in a little sleeve. And then the detail on the packaging is just as good as the Twilight palette. I'm loving the image of Edward, Jacob, and Bella when you open the palette. I really love that detail. I think this is absolutely a win from ColourPop. You can just tell that ColourPop put so much time, energy, effort, and thought into these palettes. I love the names of the colors, just like I did with the Twilight palette. We have Mood Control, Marry Me, Wolfpack, Alice, which is a beautiful shade. It's this beautiful, like, buttery yellow shimmer shade. I think that they named that shadow appropriately because looking at that beautiful, unique shade, that looks like Alice to me. I'm envisioning her beautiful eyes, which we all know were eye contact. We have Senior Year, You're Sorta Beautiful, Adrenaline, Bloodsuckers, which is a beautiful shade, Face Punch, which is one of the best scenes in the movie, just saying. Trade Secrets, Paper Cut, October, November, December. I love that they added that detail. That's just an iconic scene in the movie and an iconic part of the book. We then have Soul Reader, Soulless Monster, and You're Everything. I already have my face done. We're just gonna move on to the eyes and we're going to dive into this eyeshadow palette. I'm super excited. Okay, so I'm going to dip into the shade Marry Me. I'm going in with a fluffy brush and I'm just gonna swoop that over the eyelid, okay? Okay, I am getting some resistance with this shade. It's not swooping as well as the matte shades in the Twilight palette did, but that's okay, that's absolutely fine. Matte eyeshadows are difficult to do. I think my favorite matte eyeshadows have been from Anastasia and from Natasha Denona. Those two brands have had some of the best matte eyeshadows I have ever tried. Okay, that's a great application for just a neutral shadow. That shadow is gonna act as like the background in my look. I am now going to go in with a pointed detail brush. I'm going to pick up that darker matte shade, Your Everything, and I'm going to apply that in the outer corner just to add some depth to my look. Okay, so I was experiencing some issues. It wasn't horrible. I noticed it didn't really want to blend with Marry Me, so I actually just did a bunch of blending off camera just now to try and get those shadows to mix well. Now I really want to dip into one of these shimmer shades. I think I really want to dip into Soulless Monster. That one is really intriguing me. So I'm gonna take a flat packing brush, I'm gonna wet it with setting spray, and we're gonna go into that shimmer shade. Ooh, this one is really pretty. It has this like really pretty green reflect in it. I'm gonna bring some of that down on the lower lash line, and it's applying very smoothly. I'm not really getting much resistance with this one, which is nice. Okay, that shade Soulless Monster turned out beautifully. I am so impressed with it. It is this beautiful shimmery shade. It looks brown on the surface, but then it has like dark green and gold reflects in it. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love how it's reflecting on my eyelids right now. It looks so great. Okay, so now I want to pop a lighter shimmer shade in my inner corner. So I think I'm gonna go into Mood Control and use that one. And I'm just gonna do this with my fingertip. I'm just gonna pick some up and then just pop it in. Oh, that's so beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, and then I do want to apply some of that on my brow bone. So I'm just going to sweep some of that up here. This shade, this Mood Control shade, it also has some of that golden green reflect in it. It's applying very beautifully. It appears to be like a cream colored shimmer shade in the pan, but there's actually a lot more going on in this shade whenever you apply it. There's a lot of like green and gold in it. It is gorgeous. Okay, now I'm gonna blend that out a little bit. When in doubt, blend it out. Okay, that is gorgeous. I feel so shimmery. I feel like a dragon, like an earth dragon. Okay, I'm curious. I wanna try something, but I'm also worried that it's going to ruin everything. I really wanna try this beautiful gold shimmery shade called Trade Secrets. I wanna try just like popping just like a bit, like just like a dab of it right here. Don't want very much. I just want a little hint of it. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, I like that. I like that, yeah. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so I am going to call that for the eyeshadow look today. I don't think I really need to add anything else. It's really important to remember when you are creating an eyeshadow look, you do not need to use every single shade that is in the palette. That would just be too much. This is a 15 pan palette. I don't need to have 15 different eyeshadows on my eyelid all at the same time. It would just get all like muddled and murky and everything would just turn to like brown probably. Well, I have brown eyeshadow on right now, but if you look closely, you can actually see transitions, individual shades. You can see that there's actually way more going on. Okay, I wish I could have gotten into more shades in this palette because this has a really interesting color story. I'm really impressed with this color story. I think it encapsulates the vibe of New Moon so well. I think it's a beautiful fall palette, but I am going to finish up the look. I'm gonna do all the rest of this off camera just to save time, and then we'll come back to see the finished look. Okay, so this is the completed look, and I'm very pleased with the New Moon palette so far. My bangs are drying, so that's why they look kind of like stringy, but we're ignoring that. We're talking about the makeup, not the hair. I am very, very pleased with the New Moon palette so far. I think it's beautiful. I love how everything turned out. I'm loving this look. If you like this look, please let me know down in the comments below. I'm curious to see what you guys think as well. Do you have this palette? Have you used this palette? What are your thoughts on this palette? I'm really curious because I'm loving it so far. I think this is a win from ColourPop. Let me know what you think about the New Moon eyeshadow look down in the comments below. All of the products that were used on my face today will be listed in the description box below. Yeah, now I have to go bridal dress shopping with my family. So wish us luck, I guess. And yeah, stay tuned because the Eclipse palette is coming up next. Hey guys, okay, next we are going to be going over the Eclipse palette, which I am so excited about. I will say, ColourPop did an amazing job with the color story on this palette. It just absolutely screams Eclipse. I love it. I love it. It's so cute. The color story is beautiful. I love that each palette comes with a photo from the movie or like a promo photo from the movie because that's what Twilight fans want. That's what we want. So good job, ColourPop. I love this color story. It's so vampy, so dark. I love that it comes with this red. I'm obsessed. I love the names of the shades. We have Proposal, The Tent, ooh, T, Major Jasper. Hey, it's Jake. I'm Switzerland, okay? Hunting Instinct, Tense Alliance, Mind Tricks, Hotter Than You, which is one of the best scenes from the movie. Actually, I think it is the best scene in the movie. I remember when I was a little girl and I saw this movie in theaters. I remember that scene. I've always been Team Edward, like I'm Team Edward till the day I die. But I remember at the time when the movies were coming out, when they were super popular, it felt like everyone around me was Team Jacob. Seriously, everyone was Team Jacob. And I remember I was sitting in the theaters watching this with my mom and my sisters, and I'm Team Edward, always have been, always will be. And there was this girl, well, I say girl, but she was older than me. She was probably a teenager at the time. So like I was in elementary school, she was probably in high school. So she felt so much older than me, but like she wasn't. She was a teenager. She was so clearly Team Jacob. Like when Jacob came on screen for the first time, and I think he's shirtless in his first appearance in Eclipse. I could be wrong. The teenage girl that was sitting to the right of me audibly gasped. She was so excited that Jacob was on the screen. She was just cheering for Jacob throughout the whole movie. And like little me, Lauren, was upset because I was like,
Edward is so much better.
And then the tent scene happened and Jacob has his iconic line,
let's face it, I am hotter than you.
and then the teenage girl next to me like dies laughing. She's like all over it. And I remember me being like,
It's not true.
anyways, one of the best lines in the whole movie, and the theater erupted when Taylor Lautner delivered that line. And we have First Outsider, Frostbite, No Control, Magic Blood, which is such a pretty shade, New Vampires. I think they did a good job on that, on the shade New Vampires. And then Insane Thirst. There's also a really cool shadow. Yeah. Can you see that red reflect? There's a really cool shadow that they put on the pans. So I'm just really loving the attention to detail from ColourPop. They did a fantastic job. Okay, but let's get into the makeup. Let's play with this palette. So on my face, I have my sunscreen, my primer, my foundation, my setting powder, my bronzer, and my concealer. I got all of those steps out of the way already, so we're just gonna go straight into eyeshadow, okay? I think I'm gonna start by applying the Tent, and I'm just gonna sweep that across the brow just to give myself like a background shade, okay? That was a very, very nice background shade, as I like to call them. I want to use Hunting Instinct, which is a darker gray, and I am going to swoop that around my outer corners. shades applied very nicely. They were very nice textured matte eyeshadows. I didn't have much problems with them. They didn't give me like too hard of a time. There wasn't much resistance. I think they applied on the eyelids very well. Sometimes if you get a little too crazy with the eyeshadow, which I tend to do because I just get eyeshadow happy and then I'm like, let me put it everywhere. So what I do is I have a eyeshadow that is very similar to my skin tone, and I use that to blend out eyeshadows. And I'm just gonna blend this out, okay? It's an eyeshadow that is basically the color of my skin, and I just use it for blending out. I'm really loving the shade The Tent. It's such a beautiful gray color and it just applies so smoothly. Okay, perfect. So now I think I want to work with some of these shimmer shadows. So I think I'm going to use Hotter Than You, and I'm going to apply that on the inner corner and outer corner. And I'm going to use a flat packing brush to do so, and I'm going to wet it with my setting spray first. Okay, I'm not loving the shade Hotter Than You as much. It's not necessarily bad, it's just not my favorite formula ever. The texture is just a little chunky, and I don't tend to like chunky shimmer shades. I usually like my shimmers to be more creamy, so it's not my favorite, but it's not horrible. Like, you can absolutely still work with it. I also experienced a lot of fallout from that shade Hotter Than You. I'm going to take a small pointed detail brush. I'm going to go in with the shade Frostbite, which is just a standard matte black, and I'm going to apply that in the outer corner to just add some definition to this look. I forgot that these palettes, I forgot that with the formulation of these palettes, the mattes don't like to apply over the shimmer shades. I forgot that because it's been so long since I filmed the new moon look. So if you're going to use a matte, you gotta use it first and then layer the shimmers on top. With some eyeshadow formulations, you can actually just layer them and combine them, but I've noticed with these palettes, they don't like doing that, okay? So it has to be mattes first and then shimmers. I'm gonna see if I can salvage this. Okay, I don't hate that. I was still able to get Frostbite to somewhat work. Next, I really want to work with the shade Magic Blood. I want that to be popping on the lid. I am just gonna take my finger and I'm just gonna pick up some of that shade and then just dab it on the lid, okay? Ooh, that's beautiful. Ooh, that's so pretty. I am getting like major fallout. I don't know if you can see, but I'm getting major fallout with the shimmer shades from this palette, so I will have to address that in a second. Then you're just gonna wanna blend out those shimmer shades. When in doubt, blend it out. It still looks pretty good. Okay, so I just spent some time taking that shade Frostbite, the matte black shade. I just spent some time applying it into my outer corner and inner corner, and then I blended it out with Magic Blood because I really wanted Magic Blood to just pop on the lid, okay? As you can see, I do have major fallout, so I will be addressing that in a second. I kind of just want to finish with the eyeshadow look first so that if any more fallout is to happen, I can just get rid of all of it at once. But I am about done. Let me do a little more blending right here. Yeah, just want to be blending, 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 just like always blending. I'm upset with how that shade Hotter Than You turned out because I had such high hopes for it, but I think maybe there was something wrong in my application technique, so I'm not going to place all of the blame on ColourPop. I think it was like also partially my fault. Cancel each other out. I want to go in with the shade Mind Tricks because it is a beautiful silver shimmer shade, but it has a red reflect. And since I already have red on the lid, I want to use that to help blend. So I'm just gonna pop this on top, just right on top of Magic Blood. This is gonna help bring the red and silver together and make my look more cohesive. Nice, that's working well. That did exactly what I needed it to do. Perfect. Okay, and this one is a This one is a chunky shimmer shade. Now I'm going to go in with the shade Major Jasper, And I'm just gonna use my fingertip. I'm gonna pop this into the inner corner and on the brow bone. Y'all know I love doing this. It just really like makes my eyes pop, I feel like. Oh my gosh, the fallout is crazy. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the rest of my makeup off camera just to save time, but this is the finished eye look, and then I'll come back to show y'all the finished look, okay? Okay, so this is the finished look for the Eclipse eyeshadow palette. How are we feeling about it? I am personally really loving it. I like how the red came out a little more subtle than how I originally intended, but I think it looks really good. I think I blended the grays, the silvers, and the reds very nicely together. So I'm very, very pleased with this. But what do you guys think? Please let me know in the comments below. And thank you for watching this segment. Okay, did you guys have a favorite look? Which one did you like? Did you like the Twilight palette, the New Moon palette, the Eclipse palette? Also, do you have a favorite movie? Do you have a favorite book? Let me know in the comments below. I am seriously such a Twilight fan, so just let me know in the comments below. I love talking about Twilight. I think I was most impressed by the New Moon palette. I will say that. Yeah, I don't typically reach for a neutral palette, so I think when I have a neutral palette and I actually love how it performs, I think I'm just usually so impressed by it because I'm not the type to usually reach for a neutral palette. I really loved playing with all three palettes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, subscribe, ring the bell, do all the things. And thank you guys so much for being here with me today. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I have had a fantastic time. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.